It was a big week for virtual reality, with most of today's news coming from Oculus's annual event, Oculus Connect 4. With Mark Zuckerberg and John Carmack delivering the keynotes on days 1 and 2, there was a ton of news, announcements, and speculation. Welcome to The Flip Side, our weekly virtual reality news show pulling from all corners of cyberspace. So, let's get started. First up in hardware news, HP's VR backpack, the Omen X, should start shipping soon. The article I read said it was due to start shipping the backpacks October 13th, but after visiting HP's site, it looks like the 17th is the new targeted ship date. So, for about $3,000, you can get rid of those pesky wires and just wear your PC. Facebook permanently cuts the Oculus Rift and Touch bundle to $399. That puts the Rift bundle right in line with PlayStation VR and the Windows mixed reality headsets, and $200 less than the Vive. That's quite the advantage for Oculus. We will have to see how that plays out for them. Mark Zuckerberg announced 2 new HMDs that will hit the market with the goal of getting 1 billion users into virtual reality. First to hit the market in early 2018 will be the Oculus Go, a standalone VR headset priced at $199. This HMD has built-in audio and requires no additional hardware, and according to Oculus will be the easiest way to experience VR. It has a 2560 by 1440 res display, and with its higher pixel fill factor, reduces the screen door effect. It is compatible with Gear VR apps, and the dev kits are shipping in November. It is definitely an interesting ideation as a standalone and dedicated VR headset at a very enticing price point. Everyone needs to keep an eye on this product, and who and what it brings to the VR scene. The next HMD Oculus is planning on releasing is codenamed Santa Cruz, which is another standalone headset not needing a phone or tethering to a PC, but it adds inside-out tracking, giving you a 6 degrees of freedom experience in a lower-end HMD. This creates an interesting space between the current Gear VR offerings and the PC-based VR market, hopefully not creating a rift with developers, as it's pretty obvious with the VR market in its current state, we are already light on good quality VR content. They did have working headsets at the conference, and some of the journalists attending got to check it out, with good reviews, but only getting to see simple curated demos. And while there's no release date yet, the dev kits are supposed to start beginning to be shipped early 2018, so let's see what this ambitious product has in store for us in the coming months. There was lots of software news coming from OC4 this week, including Facebook announcing new features and cross-platform versions for its Facebook Spaces, Facebook's VR social platform. New features include minigames, the ability to create collages using pictures from Facebook, and the inclusion of live 360-degree video support, allowing people to share a real-time space in a VR environment. Next from OC4 was some news regarding updates for the Oculus Home experience, Rift Core 2.0, focused mainly around adding the ability to customize your VR home and the ability to share these spaces with friends. Then there was the announcement of Oculus Dash, which is a user interface that overlays over whatever VR experience you are currently in. It looks pretty cool, allowing the moving and resizing of windows, giving you an infinitely open workspace. This would allow developers and content creators the ability to work from within VR, which I think is something all of us want. Part of their demonstration was the real-time changing of the background color in the Unity editor while running the environment all from VR. Johnny Mnemonic, here I come. In gaming news, we have some announcements from OC4, and a couple of games hit the shelves. From OC4 came the announcement that Pixar is throwing its hat into the VR arena with Coco VR. Not a lot of details are currently known, but it looks like a multiplayer experience within the Coco world. It is available on November 15th for the Rift, and on November 22nd for the Gear VR. Also coming from OC4 was the news that Echo Arena is getting an expansion called Echo Combat, which is described as a new multiplayer, zero-gravity, first-person shooter expansion to Echo Arena. Looks like we can expect to see that sometime in 2018. Space Pirate Trainer released its final version, so grab some guns, or a gun and a shield, and blast some aliens. This final version has many gameplay and performance fixes, and with added enemies and power-ups, this remains a fun game. And on Steam, it's currently 30% off, and priced at $9.99. This is Star Shelter, a survival game set in zero gravity where you gather materials you need to get your ship put back together, all while fighting to stay alive. It is still in development as this is an early access release, but it looks promising and has some good feedback. The first story from 360 Videoland is the announcement from Nokia that they will stop production and sales of their 360-degree cinematic camera, the Ozo. Nokia blames the slower-than-expected developments of the VR market for this shift. Perhaps they should have waited to hear what Mark Zuckerberg had to say on the state of things pertaining to VR. Also, Felix and Paul Studios announced their new 360-degree immersive film, Space Explorers, funded by none other than Facebook-owned Oculus. It's a two-part series giving us insight into NASA, SpaceX's, and the Russian space programs, and follows astronauts through their training. While their hope is to debut at next year's Sundance Film Festival, there is a 3-minute trailer available on Gear VR right now. Well, that's it for this week's show. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more 360-degree and virtual reality news, reviews, and original 360 content. And don't forget to enjoy that 360 life.